Long, long ago, God promised to send his forever king, a king that would save his people from their sins. God's angels announced to the world the coming of this king. Let's remember what happened. Mary was a young woman who loved God. One day, God's angel appeared. Mary was afraid, but God's angel said, "Do not be afraid. You are going to have a baby. You are to call him Jesus. He is God's forever king." Then the angel disappeared. But Mary remembered the angel's words. Do not be afraid. Her son was going to be king forever. Now Mary had promised to marry a man named Joseph. But they weren't married just yet. Now Joseph found out that Mary was going to have a baby. So Joseph decided not to marry Mary. But during the night, while Joseph was asleep, God's angel appeared. Joseph was afraid, but God's angel said, "Do not be afraid. God has put the baby in Mary. His name is Jesus, and he will save his people from their sins." Then the angel disappeared. But Joseph remembered the angel's words. Do not be afraid. Mary's child will save his people from their sins. So Joseph married Mary. Mary's baby grew and grew. Now the ruler of the land told everyone to go back to their hometown. Joseph was from a town called Bethlehem. So Mary and Joseph travelled all the way back home to Bethlehem. Bethlehem had lots and lots of people. So many people that the only place that they could sleep was where the animals were kept. So Mary had her baby around the sheep and the cows. She laid him in a manger and called him Jesus, just like the angel had said. Now that same night, some shepherds were out. They were watching over their sheep, when suddenly God's angel appeared. The shepherds were afraid. But God's angel said, "Do not be afraid. I have good news. A baby has been born. You will find him lying in a manger. He is God's king over everything, and he has come to save his people from their sins." Then the angel disappeared. But the shepherds, they remembered the angel's words. Do not be afraid. This baby was king over everything, and he had come to save his people. The shepherds went, and they found Jesus lying in a manger, just as the angel had said. Children, this good news must be shared. Do not be afraid. God's King has come, and he has come to save his people from their sins, and his name is Jesus.